Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Bekah Jo, aka the Makeup Tax Lady. I come to you in this glowy, bronzy, summery glam look today. And on the eyes, I have a fun palette. We are pulling out Glaminatrix Nocturnal for this eye look. I even threw on some lashes for you today. I love the way that this look turned out. Hopefully you enjoy it and you're looking to shop your stash. Maybe you would just like to hang out with someone while you get ready. I would be honored to be that friend for you today. And whether you are getting glam or just doing something simple, whether you're looking for inspiration to shop your own stash, or maybe you are curious about the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette and curious if you want to pick this up on their limited edition restock, I would encourage you to watch through this video, leave a comment below, like the video if you enjoyed it. I would love to chat with you more in the comments about your thoughts. Without any further ado, let's start the look. Okay, mild disclaimer as we get into this video. I have cats that are playing around the house, so if you hear any thumping or strange sounds, it's probably them just playing. So we will just keep working through that. So I was wearing different makeup earlier and I just washed it off and put on a serum. So this is freshly washed skin with just a little bit of skincare. For my base today, I want to wear my Clinique Even Better foundation. This is the shade CN18 Cream Whip. I think they change the numbers and the names on these all the time. And is this the perfect shade for me? Maybe not quite, but I'm gonna wear it anyway because I really like this foundation. This is definitely one of my favorite foundations. And this bottle is almost empty, so I store it upside down and it just like glooped out of the top. Thankfully, I can wear that in this look. So I'm going to just kind of spread that around. I'm going to use this flat foundation brush by Japanesque to spread this out all over my skin. I'm going to use this clean Real Techniques Kabuki brush, ultimate buffing brush, and I'm going to use this to blend this into my skin. This blends into the skin so well. I think this is advertised as a medium, light to medium buildable coverage foundation, and it's very nice. I do really like it. This is probably the most coverage in a foundation product that I've worn in quite some time because I've been going for the sheer to light products lately, but I still think it looks very nice, very skin-like on my skin. It's got currently just a little bit of radiance, I would say, to it, but that will tone down a bit and we'll add some powder here in a minute too. For concealer, I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown Liquid Skin Full Cover Concealer is what they call this. This is the shade Porcelain. I'm going to add this to my under eyes and then any other spots that I want to conceal. With my Real Techniques, this is a deluxe crease brush. So this is an eyeshadow brush. But I really like it for concealer. So I'm going to use that to blend out all of the concealer that we laid down. Now that we are foundationed and concealed, I want to go in with this liquid bronzer. So this is Iconic London. This is the shade Sunkiss. They call this their sheer bronze. I picked this up at my local TJ Maxx and I really wasn't sure quite what to expect of it, but the consistency is very nice. So this is not a new product, just new to me, but here's what it looks like on the back of my hand. It's not super warm toned or super cool toned. If anything, it's like slightly warm toned. I think when you blend it out just a little bit, you can see some more of that undertone, but it's really, really sheer. So it makes it very forgiving. I am going to use this BH Cosmetics. This is number 4 in the set that it came in. This is a really great smaller brush, but I've been really liking it for bronze / contour type products. So I'm really just working that into the brush, and then we will go into the cheek in those same dabbing motions. This is like watery fresh on the skin, like it feels refreshing, and I like that. So because it's so sheer, it's not super, it's not too much in any direction. It's not too warm. It's definitely not cool toned, but it's not too much on my skin. If you're not new here, you know that that's definitely one thing that I don't love, is when a bronzer is just too much on your skin. Okay, you'll have to forgive me. I just sneezed, so I just finished up bronzing the rest of my face. I used everything that was on my hand, and I added just a little bit more, maybe half to 2/3 of what I squeezed out the first time. And there's probably still a little bit of product left, but again, it's really forgiving on the skin. So I have been enjoying this product. This is my first ever purchase from Iconic London. I know they were the thing several years ago in their liquid illuminating drops, and then they had like a setting spray that was shimmery too. And I've never gotten into those, and I've never tried those, but this product I have been happily, pleasantly surprised by. We will come back to do blush after I finished up my eyes, so I'm ready to go ahead and set my face. I'm going to use my Sydney Grace Cloud 9 powder in Fair. Just gonna get some on my brush, tap off the excess. Going to use my dry sponge just to minimize any of these creases. Now that I have a light dusting of powder all over my face, I'm going in with my half-caked brow gel and just giving some shape to these bad boys. Taking my About Face eyeshadow primer and throwing some of that on both eyes. Okay, so the golden ticket and the star of the show for today's look is the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. Glaminatrix has recently announced on Instagram that they're bringing this palette back one more time, limited edition, for everyone who wasn't able to get their hands on it previously. I was able to snag this palette, it was probably almost a year ago, and I picked up all of the individual shades from Glaminatrix, the brand. It was my first time purchasing from the brand. I picked up the empty palette, I think on Mercari secondhand, with none of the shadows in it. So when I got the singles, I put them into that empty palette. I also picked up, I think, the Nearly Natural palette from the brand at the same time, and since then I have been hooked. I think that their mattes are excellent quality. I think that their shimmers are so pretty, and this palette in particular, especially at where I was at with my makeup journey a year ago, this was very out there. It was colorful, it was challenging, and it really just like sparked that excitement in me. So this palette I will always look back to as just being like that exciting palette to me. I have worn it plenty of times. I think I've done one video with the palette, but I've posted on Instagram several other looks that I've done with it. It's just, there's a special place in my heart for this Nocturnal palette by Glaminatrix. So if you've been curious about this palette, I would encourage you to check out their Instagram, see about their return information for the palette. If you would like to see me create more content with this palette, maybe you have it and you've been uninspired by it, please let me know. I think that could be a really fun video, either doing like multiple looks with the palette or just doing more like get ready with me type videos. So for this summer glam look, this is the palette that we are going to use today. How do you narrow it down to just some of the shades when they're all beautiful? And this is such a summer night palette to me. Let's just do some hand swatches to get the creative juices flowing. I'm going to grab Milky Way, Night Vision, and Luna, and let's swatch those on the back of my hand. Next, we have the shades Dusk and Constellation. Okay, those swatches are plenty messy. I always gravitate towards this Constellation shade. It has such interesting sparkles in it. And of course, Milky Way is just gorgeous. All of these shimmers are beautiful. Night Vision has less blue forward than I remember it having. I don't know if my shade is just getting a little bit older or if it's always been that way and now I just have more in my collection to compare it to. It's still beautiful. It's just less punchy than I remember. Okay, I just built it up a little bit more, Luna there in the middle, that blue shade. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, I'm gonna switch up the eye shape from what I have been doing lately because it's makeup and we can do that. I'm taking this What's Up Beauty R103. So this is a tapered blending brush. And I'm gonna start with the shade Murky and put that kind of through the inner portion of my crease. Look at that pigmentation. I am cleaning this brush off on my little shade switcher here, and we're going to use this brush next to go into the shade Obscurity and put that on the outer portion of the crease. I am going to use this Sydney Grace small, I guess, tapered blending brush. It's a smaller brush than the previous one from What's Up Beauty. I'm gonna go into the shade Witching Hour and deepen up the outer corner. Okay, here we are with the shade Witching Hour added to the look. I ended up doing kind of a V shape in that I took it from my lash line kind of up and out and then worked that shade progressively fading into my crease into where we put Murky. So then I went back in and added just a tad of Obscurity, that blue, back to the top outer portion. With my Refer pencil brush, I'm going to go into the black shade Shadow and work that into the lash line on the top of both of my eyes. With that same Refer brush that I just scratched off on my little cleaning pad, I'm going to take Gloom and put that under the eyes, and I may throw just a little bit of shadow in the outer corner under my eyes as well. I'll be right back. Okay, mattes are all doing their thing. I did not end up using shadow on the lower lash line, the shade Shadow. I just used Gloom, and I feel like that was dark enough to kind of keep with the shape and the motion of everything we've got going on the top lash line. So now I want to go in with my Davina Cosmetics Specular Sparkle and Shimmer Glue Base, and I'm going to put that on my eyes so that we can do some shimmers. Okay, for the shimmers, I want to use Luna over pretty much where we have the matte shade Obscurity. I'm going to put that through here, and then we'll take Night Vision and add that to the inner portion of my lid. Okay, there are all the shimmers on my lid. I also went in and added Constellation, which is that coppery bronzy shade here. I added that to my lower lash line. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. I want to, of course, add just a splash of the shade Milky Way to the inner portion of my eyes. And I have a Rephr 28 to do that. I'm gonna pick it up with my brush and spray the shadow on my brush. That color is so pretty. Oh my gosh. I also just went back in with the shade Shadow on a Sydney Grace angled liner brush and just hit the black shade where we had put that on the eyes before, just to kind of bring that back to life. Okay, I am gonna go finish with my blending and my finishing touches on the eyes, and I will be right back so we can do blush and lips. Okay, I am back. The eyes are done. Yes, we put on some false lashes. These are just some Ardell Demi Wispies. Is the application perfect? No. Do we care? A little bit. Are we gonna move on? Yes. I also used just a little bit of the black shadow in the Nocturnal palette to kind of attempt to blend in the inner corner of my eye to the lash. Oh, I'm also wearing a little bit of my Smashbox eyeliner. This is the shade Sumatra. This is just a classic brown liner in my lower waterline. And for mascara, just a light layer of mascara on top and bottom lashes. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Cleantopia mascara. For cheeks for this look, I want to use these InSync liquid blushes by the brand Half Caked. I really love these blushes. They are so pretty. I love to combine the different shades. So I've got the shades New Classic and Brown Sugar that I'm going to use today. The only thing with them, if I were to complain, is that because they're a squeezy tube, you have to like squeeze them out onto the back of your hand, which it is what it is. The product itself is beautiful, so it's worth it. That's just that little extra step that on the day-to-day, I'm not always going to do that. So here we have the shade New Classic, and this is the shade Brown Sugar. So you'll see that they're a nice moussey texture. They've got a little bit of liquidiness to them, but they're not runny liquidy. So I'm just gonna blend them together on my hand to get this beautiful mid-tone rosy brown. I'm gonna use what I had on my finger, and these are pigmented. But have no fear, this is a Sonia Kashuk angled contour brush. I'm going to just blend this into the skin. Oh my goodness, look at that. This blush is a really gorgeous, transformative blush. It'll really be matte or dewy based on whatever else you have with it. It's a really good skin finish, and these last all day long. They are so good at that. I have tried the pot blushes and bronzers from the brand as well, and I do like those. The ones that I had, they were old and they had expired, and it was time to move along from them, but that product is beautiful as well. Also gonna take just a little bit and add just up into my hairline here where maybe I would get sunburnt. And on the tip of my nose. This is such a beautiful natural blush kind of color. I have all 5 of their shades in that InSync liquid blush, and I highly recommend. They are so pretty. And I still have plenty left over on the back of my hand. I'm just going back in with my foundation brush just to blend the edges of all of that together. So while we're on the Half Caked train, this is one of their highlighters. It looks kind of white, but it's a clear balmy highlight, and this is so pretty. This is that glossy skin in a compact. This is so pretty. It's the shade I'm a Salve for You. Cute. So I'm going to take just some of this on my finger, and it really doesn't take much. And I will tap it into the skin, and it will warm up to the skin and then really provide just this beautiful glossy finish. Time for some lips. Let's go into Give Me Glow lip liner. This is the shade 1990. And then we're gonna go in with the same shade in their pigmented gloss. Okay, here it is. Here is the final look. So we've got that glossy, neutral colored cheek. We've got a warm lip. We've got almost a grungy rainbow eyeshadow going on with some gorgeous sparkles, some shifty shades. I will say the shade Luna that I wasn't real sure how it would look on the eyes today. I saw it in the other room and it kind of has a burgundy base with a blue shift in different lighting. So I think maybe the hand swatch just wasn't doing justice to the shift that it has. But I love this look. This is so much more glam than I have done lately, but I love the way that it turned out. I'm feeling so summery. Plus with this like shaggy haircut that I've got, it's just like ready to rock and roll every day. I spray a little sea salt spray in it and then it's just summer ready, and I am summer ready. So thank you for joining me for today's glowy, bronzy, colorful summer look using my Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. Like I said, let me know if you'd like to see more inspirational videos with this palette. I would be happy to do some more. If you stuck around this long, once again, I thank you so much for being here. Please leave me a comment if you enjoyed this video. If you enjoy the Get Ready With Me style videos, please like so that I know to continue creating this content for you. I'd love it if you'd subscribe if you're new to my channel. And with that, I hope you have a great summer and I hope that I'll see you in my next video.